Okay. Taking a glove off so I can feel the formula. Latex gloves are not always very practical. Now, formula, this is a feeding of about an almost 5-week-old baby squirrel. Haven't opened their eyes yet. I heat my formula in a plastic container, or sometimes I use a specimen cup, which you can find on our website. This is hot water in here. I pop this in here. That's how I heat it. I do not microwave my formula. I do the little finger test to check its warmth. It's just right, so it'll stay nice for a few minutes. On this particular squirrel, I'm using a 1 cc to teach on. I generally would be just about starting these guys on a 3 cc syringe. When you use a 3 cc, you have a much bigger chance of aspirating your animal. The bigger the syringe, the better the chance of aspirating. So for new people, I like to always see them use the 1 cc for a little longer. That way there's less chance of aspirating the animals. Okay, so this squirrel's going to take about 5 cc's of formula. I just dabbed her head with warm water a little bit, wake her up so we get her eating. I'm going to hold her on an angle, like so. Sometimes I hold them against me, sometimes I hold them just on the table like this, whatever's comfortable. I am pushing the syringe with the back of my palm, which you cannot see. I'm actually pushing it right there. If they have a very strong suck, you may have to hold that plunger back so that they don't aspirate the formula. The gloves can become unpractical because you cannot feel the warmth of the animal or the warmth of the formula, and that is very important. But gloves are important to keep you safe. If you choose to not wear gloves, you should be washing your hands thoroughly after you feed your litter of squirrels. And if you have other squirrels to feed, I would wash them in between the litters so you don't cross-contaminate anybody with anything. The squirrel's eating very well. I actually meant to show you her belly before and after. I looked down at her belly to see how full they are. She's been marked so that we could identify her from the other three she's with nail polish. A little dab of red nail polish. Whiteout works really well, doesn't come off, and it's I think pretty non-toxic. I looked down at their belly to tell, and these squirrels are in very good shape, so it's almost a little hard to tell where they are. The 5% rule is normally a safe rule for new people to follow until they can tell the size of the stomach by visually looking. You would feed your baby 5% formula to their body weight, give or take. Some squirrels are going to eat more, some squirrels are going to eat less. I would always prefer somebody to underfeed a little bit than to overfeed. Underfeeding is going to give you not quite as fat of a squirrel. Overfeeding, if you're not careful, can turn into bloat, and bloat is sometimes impossible to save if the animal has bloat. So therefore I would rather see the squirrel a little lighter than so fat that there's a chance of him bloating, him or her bloating. And I'm just pushing gradually. As I said, if they have a very strong suck, you may have to hold that plunger back so they don't aspirate it. If I had to hold the plunger back, the squirrel's sucking, I'd still have it based at the back of my palm like so, but I would stop it at this point with my thumb and forefinger from pushing too strong. When you're feeding little squirrels, little babies, and they're eating very slow, you're going to probably have to dump the formula in the syringe maybe through 3 times before that syringe ever got emptied, because it gets cold very quickly in a 1 cc or a half cc syringe. And you do not want to be feeding very young babies cold formula. Number one, they won't eat it, and they're not going to be getting the calories if they're not eating the formula. So you want to make sure the formula is always warm going into them. This nipple that we're using is a silicone nipple. It's a silicone mothering nipple that we carry on our site. It has a pre-made hole in it so we don't have to puncture it. And I push it through a zoologic nipple base so that when these squirrels get older there's less chance of them swallowing that nipple. This squirrel is full. Her belly looks good. Looks perfect. Now we're going to clean her up just like Mom would do. We're going to stimulate her to go and do her bathroom business. And we're just going to clean her up. This is warm, clean water in that bowl. And I'm just going to wipe her over everywhere. Her face, I start with the face. We're going to mention milk burn here. You'll find in some writings that people will talk about milk burn. I don't believe in milk burn. It should be non-existent with everybody. All milk burn is not cleaning the milk off your baby's face. And it's the loss of hair from the irritation from the milk being stuck to their face. So if you clean your baby thoroughly, you will never, ever have to deal with something called milk burn. It is non-existent at Chris's Squirrels and More. And she is going to the bathroom right now. Her poops are mustard yellow color, which is normal for squirrels being on a commercial milk replacer. We are using Esbalac for our squirrels. At this age, with this squirrel, we are mixing our Esbalac 1 part powder, 2 parts water, and half a part of heavy cream. And our cream here in Connecticut, it does vary from different states. The saturated fat in the cream I'm using is 17%. And that's about the range you want to be in for your fat content of your cream. And she's already done her business. And now we're going to dry her off with this towel. And they don't always go to the bathroom right away when you're stimulating them, but they usually go within a few minutes. But she did already go, and she's quite content now. And that is how you feed a baby squirrel.